All right, what's good? We're here today with the fourth episode of the Herm Cet Show, a weekly podcast about everything basketball with news, updates, and hot takes. Today we're discussing the Summer League, kind of a recap as we near the end of the Las Vegas Summer League, talk about a bunch of different things. I'm Nate Herman, and I'm joined by my co-host, Ethan Seton. E, how are you doing?
I'm great, man. It feels like the summer league flew by.
Oh, yeah, it's faster every year, I tell you.
Oh man, I just I'm get back in that basketball mindset. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I get to enjoy watch the games. And then they take it away for 2 months and you're
Yeah,
just
we're about to
left
reach
bummed.
basketball summer. It's the off season. We're in the depths.
Oh, I hate that. Everybody hates that.
It's the worst. All right, let's start off with the steals of the draft is what we're going to go with first today. It's a little early, a little reactionary to really declare someone a steal, but I'm here to do it because that's what we do. We react. So I'm gonna go off, and I'm gonna start with Cam Whitmore of the
Good
Houston
call.
Rockets, who should have went at least top six. I thought in the draft originally, falls all the way to pick 20, whether it be to medicals or interviews or questions about his motor, whatever it is. I think it was awful. It looks really dumb of all the GMs that passed on him. He had 26 points, I believe 9 rebounds in a summer league record 8 steals the other night. Cam Whitmore is a monster. Looks a lot like Jalen Brown and Anthony Edwards, just in the way that he plays. But he's 6'7" and he's built like a tank. I think he's going to be a great player, and he looks like a steal for the Rockets at pick number 20.
Yeah, I can't say enough good things about Cam Whitmore.
Yeah.
I think, you know, Cam just I have no idea how he fell down.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about it a little bit in our previous episode. Dude's a bucket. Dude's a baller.
He's a
Dude
walking
plays
bucket.
good defense, and he looks so comfortable out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I I think he's gonna step right into a role with the Rockets really early. And I'd watch out if I was a couple of those veteran guys on the Rockets because Cam Whitmore's gonna be stealing those minutes just like he steals the ball in the court, man.
Yeah, Jeff Green is deep in trouble over there. I think if we're looking at Cam, he's probably not going to start in year one. I think probably it's like Tari Eason and Jabari as the forwards, and then maybe Shangun at the five. Maybe even you throw a man in there, whatever. But I think it's unlikely Cam starts in year one. They've got some veterans. They're trying to kind of pick up the process. He probably comes off the bench. And there are some concerns, like the efficiency still isn't great. That's kind of a little bit concerning. The handle's not very good. It leads to some turnovers at times, just like Jalen Brown. They're similar in a lot of aspects. But I think he'll be fine. He's such a natural scorer. I'm not worried about his production, and I think he seems like a future All Star. It's tough to throw that around because I think the Rockets have so many guys with that level of upside. So some of them just because of the others aren't going to reach that, at least in Houston. But Cam Whitmore to me has been super exciting in this week that we've seen him so far.
Yeah, he's been one of the more exciting players to watch, and I'm excited to see what he does this season.
Yeah, me too. We can throw it to you for player number two, who's the
All
second
right,
biggest steal after Cam.
player number two. I'm going with a second round pick here. I'm
Oh,
going with Amani Bates.
yeah,
You know,
bucket.
um, you made a video the other day about him,
Hmm.
and I don't think it did the justice about how good of a player Amani
Yeah.
Bates is, because this dude should not be a second round pick.
Hmm.
You know, did he get into a little mischievous activity because he's a little
Yeah,
devious dog?
he may
Maybe.
have.
He may be.
Yeah,
But that's okay. That's besides the point because all we care
hmm,
about is what he does on the basketball court.
that's right.
Because the dude gets buckets.
Hmm.
Right now, 16 points per game in 4 games in the summer league. Shooting 40% from the field and 35 from 3. Solid.
It's
We'll
fine.
take it a second round pick.
Hmm.
And this dude's going to step right in to the Cavs. I'd say he's going to play in I don't know. He's going to play in 30 games maybe even more. I don't even know. It
Hmm.
depends on I guess injuries and stuff. But give this guy a few years and Amani Bates is averaging 20 points a game in the right situation.
Hmm. It's funny because I think the biggest question with him, a lot of people said he wasn't a winning player. He's too selfish. He takes too many shots. A lot of people have called him a shot chucker, is something I've seen a lot. But Amani Bates and the Cavs, I believe, are 4-0 and are in the Summer League playoffs. So Amani Bates, to me, doesn't seem like a negative impact on winning. His approach to minutes will be kind of tough because they just signed some wings, whether it be Max Strus or Georges Niang. They brought back
Georges
Karis LeVert.
Niang,
Yeah,
bucket getter.
known Sixer legend, Georges Niang. But Amani Bates, I think, is a guy that's probably a little bit more of a long-term project. I don't think he's going to be a huge contributor in year one, but over time, as a second-round pick, the contract is going to be super low. I think could be a great addition to this Cavs team on the wing that desperately needs more offense, and that's what Amani's going to give you.
You know, Amani Bates, they said he wasn't a winner, but he's out here chasing that Summer League rings that they're giving out. The Summer League championship. Hey, have you seen those rings that they give out?
They gave out like nice last year.
Yes, I know that. So, Amani Bates out here saying, "Screw the haters, man. We out here getting his ring season out in July."
Yeah, we keep it competitive. I'll shift from him to another guy that's also lighting it up from range, and that's Keyonte George. Was outside of the lottery. I believe he fell to the 16th pick. A lot of people thought he was kind of a fringe top 10 guy. Falls to 16 to the Jazz, and he has been a automatic bucket right from the get-go. Looks super confident with his scoring, but I've been impressed with him as a passer. He's trying to shift to a full-time point guard, which the Jazz kind of need, unless you're going to play Clarkson at the 1. But Keyonte George, to me, is a guy who's been really impressive, both from distance and his ability to get by players. He seems to blow by people with ease, and just the confidence that he plays with all around. He's a guy that just feels like a natural high-level player, and we've seen a lot of guys later in the lottery or just after be really good, whether it be Michael Porter Jr. or Tyler Hero or Donovan Mitchell, who I think his game is actually kind of similar to, or a lot of those different guys that I think he could be a great player for Utah. And in just 1 year, they have went from Gobert and Mitchell to Walker Kessler and Keyonte George, and actually a pretty decent replacement early on.
Yeah, I think about those, like a Donovan Mitchell type comparison, falling outside of, just the lottery, and, having to go in there and you ask him to do things and he just exceeds expectations, because I really don't think anybody expected him to have this good of a summer league.
No.
And I will say, me personally, I was not expecting to see him light it up like this.
No.
And I think it's, can he translate that into the regular season? Because, you get into the 82 game grind and you have to find ways to win games. And can you find ways to translate your play from the summer league into the real big bad NBA? I guess we'll have to find out.
Yeah, I think a lot of people thought it might be a summer league for Ochai Agbaji to really show that he could be their lead guard, their lead scoring type out there. But Keyonte George has, I would say, kind of easily stolen the show when it comes to Utah, has been pretty clearly their best player, it feels like. And it's just way better as a scorer than people would have thought. The defense is probably going to be somewhat of an issue. He's kind of lean still, but he's put on a little more weight. But he looks great. I think he's in good condition, and he seems to be more than willing to accept the challenge. And Utah is looking for pieces around their guys like Lowry and Walker and John Collins on the squad now. So they're looking to fill some slots in, and I think Keyonte George is going to be a huge building block for them going forward. But he's been talked about to death. So do you have any other steal that you want to talk about?
I'm going to go with one of the second round picks.
Wow.
White Boys Unite. Hunter Tyson.
Sniper.
The sniper himself. Some people, they talk about Steph Curry, Damian Lillard, the regular boring three-point shooters in the league.
Yeah.
I'm here to talk about Hunter Tyson. Hunter Tyson, limitless range badge in NBA 2K. Catch Hunter Tyson efficiently scoring from the floor on any given night. I think Hunter Tyson right now, through 4 games, I had his stats pulled up, averaging 21.8 points per game.
Crazy.
Shooting 58% from the field, 51% from 3. Absolute bucket.
Yeah.
Then, not to go along with half a steal, and
Mm.
2 assists a game
Yeah, that's
to
right.
throw it in there. You know, Hunter Tyson, Nuggets, they look for those gems hidden
Mm-hmm.
out in the forests. They go out and they search for them. They're looking, they're scouting,
Yeah.
and then they find this 5th-year white boy
Out of
that can
Clemson.
that can shoot the ball.
Yeah.
No, most people go to Clemson to recruit for football.
Mm-hmm.
The Denver Nuggets said no. We want to recruit for basketball.
This is a basketball
Where?
school.
A basketball school. They were this close to getting Zion, but they had Hunter Tyson instead.
It's better.
Better. He's providing a bigger impact in the NBA than Zion at the moment.
Yeah. The Nuggets brought in 3 rookies. They had a pretty active draft, actually. And I think a lot of people thought the dude Pickett from Penn State might be the one to really light it up for them in the Summer League. Or Julian Strother, who's been good, but not quite as good as Hunter Tyson. And when they're looking at replacing 2 like key role players, because Bruce Brown is gone, he's in Indiana with the bag, and Jeff Green has left for Houston, so 2 guys that were kind of in the playoff rotation. So those are big minutes they have to replace. I know they're looking at a guy like Peyton Watson as a guy inside the organization that could maybe take a step up, but he's getting outplayed in the Summer League too by Hunter Tyson. I'll put that out there. Peyton Watson's cool, but Hunter Tyson has really been impressive to me, and he's the kind of guy that will look even better playing with Nikola Jokic, because when you can space the floor, if you can stay like movement on the perimeter, Jokic will find you. You'll get open looks from 3, and I think he's active and ready to hit them. And I think it looks like a great pick for Denver and just exactly what they need.
Christian Braun and Hunter Tyson running the white boy duo.
White boy city. Him and them and Jokic.
Yeah, and Jokic.
Yeah. Yeah. I got one more guy I want to talk about before we
Sure.
shift to something else. And I'll talk about 2nd-round pick as well from the Minnesota Timberwolves, Leonard Miller, who I've really liked as a guy that was in the G League Ignite program last year, was quietly playing point guard for them down the stretch because Scoot was sitting out. He's about 6'10", 6'11", something like that. But he averaged like 17 and 10 for the Ignite last year, and nobody talked about him. The dude is awesome. He does everything on the floor. He has really good floor vision. He gets a lot of steals. He gets blocks. Just feels like a kind of do-it-all guy, Ben Simmons-esque, which, maybe now people don't like that comp as much, but at his prime was great. And it feels like he, at his height, is really good at creating for others. And Minnesota feels like they got a steal. I believe pick 33, somewhere in there. But Leonard Miller should have been a first-round pick, and I think he's proved that in the Summer League so far.
I don't have much to say about Leonard Miller. I've seen him play a little bit. I don't know his game too well.
Yeah, you were watching for Spagnuolo.
The only Timberwolf that I care about at the moment is Matteo Spagnuolo, the greatest point guard on earth.
Has he got in yet?
He hasn't. I don't know what's going on. Like I've been Google searching. Like I've been watching. I was watching the game earlier, and I didn't even see him on the bench. But I follow him on his like social medias, and I see like he's out here like bowling, bro. And I'm like, I'm quite literally going to DM him.
Get in the gym.
And be like, my boy, like we need you on the court.
Yeah.
I do not care about you bowling after your game. You didn't even play.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe it's not the year for him yet. Maybe next year's the year for him.
He's already been stashed in Italy once. Like he needs to get out of Italy.
Stash
we
him
need
again.
you on the team.
Stash him again.
No, fine. Do not stash him again. He's 20 years old. He needs to play. There's no more stashing.
Oh gosh.
Jason Tatum was like 14 years old when he entered the NBA, it felt like.
He was.
Why? Jason Tatum did not get stashed out in Italy. Matteo Spagnuolo is just as good as Jason Tatum.
Yeah. I don't think that's true, but...
I did see an article when I Googled him the other day, and it was the point guard that can change the Minnesota Timberwolves. And I said, I did not realize that there are other Matteo Spagnuolo's delusionists out there.
Stands out there. The Spagnuolo army.
That's what it is, man. You
know
it.
Yeah, but Miller's been great. I think he's going to be a good rotation piece for them in year one. But we can shift to some other standouts, maybe guys that you wouldn't classify as steals. That could be second-year guys. It could be first-year guys. I want to start out talking about Ausar Thompson of the Detroit Pistons, who I think has been awesome. He's probably the most exciting watch in the summer league so far. I'd say is a very top-end athlete, super athletic. He gets posters, he gets lobs, he's getting all that stuff. But he gets a ton of steals and blocks. He's getting like 4 steals a game and 3 blocks, I think, on top of like 9 rebounds for a small forward, playing some shooting guard. He has great passing skills. Some of the passes you see him make are phenomenal. You're just like, what was that? But he's great. I've loved watching him. I think the scoring and the shooting is going to come along a little more slowly, but he does basically everything you could ask for on the court, and is like a cool gadget guy. I really like that, and I thought he outplayed Shaden Sharp the other night too. So I think Thompson's upside is pretty clear, and I've really loved what I've seen from him with Detroit.
As long as Jaden Ivey is passing him the ball, I'm cool with Ausar Thompson.
Yeah. Ivy don't like him, it seems.
Okay, you know how I feel about the Thompson twins. They played in a rec league. They played in a rec league.
Well, they both looked great, by the way.
Oh, you know what? I'd look great in that rec league too if I was cherry picking and I was throwing it off the backboard to myself and making highlight reel dunks because I'm not playing any defense.
I mean, in the summer league, they've looked great. Both of them have looked great.
Okay, let's talk about Ausar's first summer league game when he was like pulling up on the
he
wing
didn't want to shoot
ball,
it. He was passing it. Yeah.
Yeah, he had to pass it. No, but first it was like the hesitation.
Yeah.
Like to shoot the ball, and it was, like, brother, shoot it. I don't care if it goes off the side of the backboard. Just shoot the ball. And I don't even know what to say. Now I'm Ausar Thompson. Shoot the ball, but he has been shooting a little bit more, and I do like him on the fast break. I like him transition, so I'm going to give him a little bit of time. He's got to adjust from playing against a bunch of 16-year-olds who don't play defense, weren't that good, to actual NBA competition. So I'll give him some time. That's fine.
Yeah, he did hit that buzzer beater 3 over Grady Dick the other night, which I was fun to see. Easy, just rise over the top because he can jump up like he's Reggie Miller on that full elevation off the ground, Klay Thompson type jump shot right now for Ausar. No, his shooting's not his specialty, but I think it'll come around. There's going to be some questions when you look at Detroit's roster because Cade has been a pretty bad shooter in the NBA, as has Jaden Ivey. So you throw both of them out there with Ausar, I think the shooting is going to be a legitimate concern. But the talent there is Boeheim. That's why they have Buddy Boeheim. Buddy Boeheim and Bojan Bogdanovic, the white boy duo again.
Buddy Boeheim is possibly the greatest catch and shoot shooter in the history of the NBA, and I think he's better than Klay Thompson at catch and shoot, based on what we've seen in the summer league.
I mean, I think that's obvious at this point. Buddy Boeheim is
no.
Past no
Can
ACL play.
No, but can he quick release? Oh yes, he can. He's better than Klay. He's better than Steph. He's better than them all. Buddy Boeheim, player to watch out for. Most improved MIP. Most improved player, Buddy Boeheim, 2024.
Yeah, that'll be a fun watch. Who's one of your standouts?
I think my standout that is just really, really obvious is Jabari Smith Jr. averaging 35.
Second-year jump.
Point. Like I watched that dude and I said, why is he playing like in the summer league? Why are you here? It was the same. It was the
same
Keegan
thing as
Murray
Keegan,
vibes.
yeah.
It was like, what, sir? Why are you here? You should not be playing. He has a buzzer beater in game 1, and I'm like, oh yeah, he played really well. And then he drops, I think, like 35 points in 3 quarters, and then they send him out in the 4th quarter just for the heck of it in the final 2 minutes, just so he can go score again.
It was getting close.
Like, no, it was not getting close. It was like a 20-point game.
It was getting closer. It was like down to 12, I think.
No, they sent him out for fun. They were like, go get another bucket, and then he got an and 1, and I was just like, why? Why are they sending him out there?
What is the point of this?
There's no point for him to go out there and score. But you know what? Good for you, buddy. Good for you for going out there and playing against a bunch of guys who are going to be playing for the Syx Falls G League team. And good for you for playing against the stinking Bay Area Warriors, Santa Cruz Warriors, whatever they're called. going out there playing against a bunch of G League guys making 20K a year, trying to barely being able to feed their families, and you're dropping 40-point games. You know what? Good for you, man. Okay. Proud of you. Proud of you for going out there.
Yeah. Shout out to Sioux Falls, the Sky Force, I believe. I think they got
Skyforce.
some weird name or something. But
exactly. You know what is? You know what I call that? I call them irrelevant, irrelevant guys.
Yeah. I remember the first half of Jabari's first game in the Summer League this year drops 4 points. And people are on Twitter saying Jabari is trash, that he is the worst player ever, that the Rockets had an awful mistake in drafting him. This dude is never going to be good in the league. He's worse than Kyle Anderson, is what I'm seeing on Twitter. But he drops 29 in the second half of that game and hits the buzzer beater. And then I believe drops 38 in the game right after that. Dominant performance from Jabari. I remember
at halftime he said, "I'm gonna shut that down."
Yeah, I'm not gonna let that slide. He wasn't taking that. But I saw a quote from him. He's talking about it because they're asking him too. They're like, "Yo, why are you playing here? You're a high-profile guy. You were the 3rd pick. You don't have to be playing here." He says to himself, "I can always be better." The Rockets went 20-62 last season. He says, "Why wouldn't I be here? Our team was bad. We can get better. I can get better." And I like the improvement I saw from him. So I'm glad he played. He was a fun watch, and I think it's a very positive sign for Houston because they have a lot of guys playing really well.
Yeah, did you see that interview that he had in the middle of the game? You know, the one that they were winning, and then he subbed back in after, even though it was like a 25-point game.
Yeah.
And he just had like no idea what was going on. He'd be like, "Yeah, I don't, I just wanted to come back and get better. You know what I mean? Like, just wanna improve my game."
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought, man, they really teach media personnel in the Rockets organization with those interviews. And then I saw, you know what, just to get off tangent here, Jaren Jackson Jr., his interview last night in the Lakers Memphis game. Mm-hmm. Please, everyone watching, go YouTube that interview. Just find it. You can find it. I guarantee you can find it on the internet, because it was the most chaotic interview I've ever watched in my life.
Yeah.
Because he's out here. There was an and one. He throws the headset off. He's screaming and one.
Yeah.
And then they have to have the people come over, set it back up, and he's like, "Oh, my bad. What was the question again? I wasn't really." Yeah. And then they say the whatever, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm just improving defense. You just gotta play, man. You just gotta play. You just gotta play defense. I'm just out here running."
Yeah.
And I really like what Kenny Lofton brings. He's a bucket. He's a bucket.
Yeah, he is.
I'm not doing the justice right now to describe you how chaotic the interview was, because he just was not there. He's just screaming, and one, that's a bucket.
Yeah.
Like, as the game is happening, like he's coaching and screaming.
I saw Cole Anthony with the and one scream the other day too.
Oh, that's my boy right there. I was gonna send you a Cole Anthony video, a Cole Anthony TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
It was an edit, and it was like it was one of his TikToks, and it's like, put a finger down if you would make fun of someone for being a furry. And he goes
I
like
did,
this.
yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
And then it's just some edit of like catching lobs.
Yeah, all the comments like, they're gonna cancel you for this, Cole. Yeah, while we're on the tangent of chaotic interviews, I guess, Jarrett Jack, the head coach of the Pistons, getting interviewed the other day. They're trying to ask him questions. He's just coaching. He's yelling. He's constantly yelling and just saying things to his guys, not responding to their questions half the time. Very awful interview, one of the worst interviews I've seen on TV. But Jarrett Jack was out there to put out his coaching tape, let people know I'm here to make a statement, and I guess that's the whole point of these anyway.
Like, why are you interviewing a coach, like, in the game? Why? Like, you're in a close game. I don't even care if it's a 20-point game. You're trying to like catch your team up, or you're trying to stay ahead, or if you're in the middle of like a 2-point game.
Yeah.
Why are you interviewing the coach who's barking out the plays, and you're expecting him to say, "Jarrett, what's your most memorable summer league experience?" Like, I would go insane.
Yeah, he said right off the bat, he's like, "I'm a little busy right now." He let him know.
Good. Yeah. I'm glad, because like, and for me, it's it's those interviews after the quarter that they now do with
Yeah.
with the players. They used to just be the coaches.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you'd see Steve Kerr or Tyronn Lue.
Yeah, yeah.
Like they do an interview for like 2 questions. But now it's like, oh, hey, Anthony Davis, you had 10 points and 5 boards. How do you come back in this one? Like,
Mm-hmm.
no, like in the playoffs, why are you interviewing players in the middle of the game?
Yeah.
And then, granted, now putting headsets on them in the summer league. Like, I love hearing from the players, but
Yeah.
if I, as a athlete myself right now, like,
Mm-hmm.
I just had a game last night. If I'm pitching, and they say, "Oh, this inning you're gonna go out with a headset," and you're
They
gonna
did that
throw.
with Alek Manoah, I remember.
Oh, I would lose my mind. They'd be like, "Oh, do you want to throw a change up here on the next pitch?" I didn't have that in my ear while I'm trying to win.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. Long tangent.
Media, terrible.
Yeah, long media tangent. We hate the media. We're not the media. We hate the media. We'll take a shift.
We're a new movement. We're a new movement.
Yeah, we're new
For the
media. It's
media.
a different
Yeah,
thing. We'll go to different standouts, and I'll take my own fanboy Stan take now, because Kai Soto, man from the Philippines, 7'3", 230 pounds, the dream from the Philippines. Just 13 points the other night. He got benched the first 3 games. They didn't play him. Every social media post the Magic had. Play Kai Soto. Play Kai Soto. Play Kai Soto. He gets in. He plays 13 minutes. The coach hates him. The front office told him, you better play this dude. We brought this dude over. You're going to play this dude. He plays 13 minutes, 6 points,
6 points,
4
yeah.
rebounds, 3 blocks. Get those shots out of here. He's a defensive machine. Monstrous dunk, midi pull-up game. He's got a lot to him. I really like what I've seen. This dude is a project. I'll keep it a buck. Soto is kind of a long-term project. He's a little slow. The foot speed is not exactly what you want to see, but he's blocking shots from the rip. Easily, very casually. I remember Michael Devoe, who I want to talk about it in a minute as well, because he's been really good. But he took this drive into the paint, and Soto just casually reaches over and swats it out like it's nothing, because he is 7'3", 230-pound monster, and I liked what I saw in limited action.
That was a lot to take in.
It was.
Didn't know if we were talking about LeBron James
Chet
or
Holmgren,
or Kai Soto
Yeah.
because of how much you just talked him up right there. The dream from the Philippines.
Yeah, that's right.
He played 13 minutes.
He did indeed, more than Spagnuolo.
Oh, whoa, that is a low below right there. I'm out here. I've seen the Magic posts as well, but I also seen the hate on the Magic posts as well, saying, I don't want to hear another thing about Kai Soto. It's getting old. But then he has an army of comments that like follow underneath, saying, "You're just a hater. You're just a hater." So
I've seen people calling Dylan Murphy, the Magic coach, the worst coach of all time, because he wasn't playing Soto, because that's how mad the fans were. I had a comment in my video the other day. This wasn't a Soto video, by the way. I'm just going to say it. He said that us, the U.S., the Magic, not playing Kai Soto was a disrespect to the nation, and that all of the U.S.'s bases in the Philippines should be removed. And I told him I thought that was a little extreme reaction for a summer league basketball player. But it was one of the craziest comments I've seen.
I'm trying to pull up because I saw the post that the Magic had, and they like posted his 13, and it was like it might have been the most talked about Magic video in the history. Oh, here's a Kai Soto video right here from the Magic.
Yeah.
Let's read some of the comments.
Let's.
Here. It's just all the Philippine. It's all just their nation's flag. It's just the flag. That Orlando better be taking care of Kai. There are tons of Filipinos watching.
Yeah, hey, they watch the channel. I got a big Filipino audience, you know. I'm very thankful to them. We love them.
And so we have nothing but love for Kai Soto on the channel here.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm trying. Yeah, I wish I knew where. When it even says Mexico is rooting for Kai Soto here.
Wow. Some
Oh
people
my
might
gosh.
say, that we're hyping him up too much. I'm hyping him up too much, and I think that there is a possibility of that, sure. But really, I do like the dude. I think the kind of player he is, you don't see super often. There's just not a lot of dudes in the league that are 7'3". It's super rare. And he can shoot the ball at least a little bit to the mid range. He shot almost 40% from three a couple years ago on very low volume. I'll keep it a buck. The volume was very low, but I was really impressed with the shooting. I think he's a better shooting big than people would say, and I think it's someone worth taking a shot on just because the body's so rare. What he does at that size is so rare. So to me, I think he's an interesting player. Whether he turns out a career in the league, we'll see, because Bol himself is an interesting player, and Bol is kind of on his last straw, I would say, if we're being honest with ourselves. I think the dude is not long for the league, maybe, so we'll see what happens with Soto, but I always enjoy watching him. I think he's a fun watch.
Yeah, I personally think that Kai Soto is better than Victor Wembanyama,
Oh,
and
okay.
I just want to say out to all the Filipinos watching, Kai Soto is better than Victor Wembanyama, and I think that he should have been, on everybody's radar in the past, and I'm really glad that the Magic landed him because him and Cole Anthony might go down as the
Elite
greatest,
pick and roll. The
point,
greatest pick and roll
yeah,
we've ever
greatest
seen.
pick and roll duo ever in the history of the game.
Yeah, it's
Kobe
the
and
next
Shaq. I
Penny
don't
and
know who that
Shaq in
is.
Orlando. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so, Kai Soto, I think that, will go down as the greatest player in the history of the NBA. So just watch out for him this upcoming season when he averages 45 a game.
Yeah, I think this will probably come out on Sunday. It'll probably be after they play their second game tonight, which I'll probably talk about in a different video because why not? I like to talk about him. But we'll see. We'll see how he
Root
plays
for the
tonight. For the
fans.
fans, yeah, we're keeping it real for
Root.
the fans. They always say more updates. We want more updates. So I'll give them more updates. We'll talk about it tonight. And then this will probably come out on Sunday morning. And we'll see how he plays. I think he'll get more minutes. It's their last game. Why not? But I want to shift to the guy he blocked before we get out of the standouts section. Michael Devoe has been really awesome to me to watch. Was one of the top picks of the G League draft. Went to the brand new expansion team, Rip City Remix. So he's on their roster, right now. Cool name, by the way. Cool logo. I like their team. But Devoe has been really good. He kind of stole the show early on in Victor Wembanyama's second game because Devoe was just lighting it up from outside. It felt like he couldn't miss. But he's been pretty good throughout the summer league so far. In the Magic, they have a lot of guards. Like, they're not lacking guards or anything. But a nice reserve guard who could maybe be your backup one at some point. Out of Georgia Tech, Devoe was a killer in college. And I've liked what I've seen. I don't know how much you've watched of him.
Yeah, I've watched him a little bit. I've been keeping tabs.
Yeah,
He's, I think solid guy. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's like.
He's not a
I
star
don't
or
think
anything.
Yeah, he's not a star,
Yeah.
but I have respect for his game.
Mm-hmm.
I have respect for a lot of people's games, but I think he's still no Matteo Spagnolo. He doesn't have the shooting ability of
Mm-hmm.
Matteo. He doesn't have the passing ability. I'm just kidding. Um, but yeah, the questions still come up to say, all right, you stand out in the summer league. Can you get a big roster spot?
Yep.
And will you get the minutes? So that's
Yeah.
my question.
Same with Mac
because
McClung last year, really.
yeah, so it's just a question of, okay, he's on everybody's radar now,
Mm-hmm.
and will he be able to get some more minutes in the actual upcoming season?
Yeah, we'll see. But we can shift to teams now, just for a little bit. We can talk about some teams that have been good.
Sure.
I'll let you start it off because I stole two standouts in a row, so I'll let you take the first team. Yeah.
That's okay. I think the first team that stood out to me
Mm-hmm.
is the San Antonio Spurs, and not because that they're winning,
Yeah.
but because of the impact that Wembayama has actually had
Oh yeah.
in there. So we saw in that first game, they did pull out a win,
Mm-hmm.
and
Against
Wemby
the
played
worst summer league team I've ever seen. The Hornets suck.
yeah, the Hornets. I think what are they? Are they 0-4? I think they're
so.
0-4.
No diss to
I think
Nick
they're
Smith
playing
Jr.
right now.
I like Nick Smith Jr., but the rest of the squad has been pretty rough.
Yeah, it's been Brandon Miller is
Book
inconsistent,
night.
but that's
Oh my
okay.
gosh.
Yeah. Oh goodness. Anyways, yeah, they pulled out the win, and Wemby was pretty hoarded, and they came out the next day,
Yeah.
and they almost, I think it was the Blazers. Yeah, it was the 2 days later.
Yeah. It was
Almost beat the
Blazers, yeah.
Blazers, But Wemby dropped that smooth 27
Mm-hmm.
that I predicted. Don't forget, internet. It's now, it's documented
You've
forever.
predicted both
No,
sides, I think, really.
I predicted both. I predicted both
Yeah,
games. TikTok saw it first.
and they
We
loved it.
saw it on. They loved it. There was a lot of hate saying that I was flippy floppy, but I was just predicting the two games. I predicted both of them.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I do. I predict the first game
I
and
try
the
to tell
second
them
game.
there were a lot more than two outcomes that could have happened, but that
Yeah,
they didn't
no,
like that.
apparently, you have to get it spot on and only one take for them to respect them.
Yeah.
But anyways, San Antonio Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
I see promise because there's a couple of those young guys that are on two-way contracts
Yep.
that look like they can help the Spurs win more than 25 games this upcoming year.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited. I think, and if Wemby plays like he did in Game 2, and I think good things are going to happen. He went out there, proved the haters wrong, and then he dipped. He said, "I'm done.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter." So, good for the Spurs. Good for the Spurs.
I mean,
for
outside
getting those
of
two-way
Wemby,
guys.
yeah, they got some nice guys out there. I think Branham has been nice for them, but people know who Branham
yeah.
is. Branham's going to be a good player. The Spurs love Branham. They think he has really high upside. Blake Wesley, to me, has still been kind of up and down. He's a fast guy. He's quick, but Julian Champagnie, who's on a full contract now.
Oh yeah,
but he's been a bucket, man. He's been nice. I like watching that
That's how you're
dude.
balling.
Yeah, he's fun to watch. And then one of their two-way guys, like you're talking about, Dominic Barlow, monster on the boards, finishing
Yes.
inside, a former alumni of the Overtime Elite, Dominic Barlow. Let's go, Overtime Elite, lighten it up. They have some nice young guys. It's mostly kind of like bench rotational guys that were playing for them in the summer league, probably when we get to the regular season. But some interesting pieces. I'll shift us to. I'm trying to think of which team to take here. We can talk about Houston. We'll talk about Houston because a lot of their guys have looked good. Whether it's Cam Whitmore, who we already talked about, who's been really solid. Jabari Smith Jr., we already talked about, who's been really solid. Tari Eason had a couple of really good games. And Trevor Hudgens, kind of their, I think he's a two-way point guard, has really lit it up for three from them. And I've liked what I've seen from their young guys because a lot of their guys came into the summer league with questions in terms of what they were going to be, and I think they answered them and made the future look a lot brighter than it did even a week ago.
Didn't Ausar Thompson play in a game?
Yeah, he just played in one game, and I thought he was good in that game too. Him and Scoot were kind of going back and forth in the first half.
He had
Before
16
Amen,
points.
yeah, he hurt his ankle. I think it was a high ankle sprain.
Yeah, but he went 1 of 1 from 3, shooting 100% from 3.
There was one time he drove to the right side, quickly came up and under with the left hand, right under the shot blocker. I thought was pretty nice. I think Amen's going to be a good player, and I just love what I saw from them.
Yeah, if he can translate from playing the 16-year-olds into NBA competition, I think Amen's got a bright future. But you know what? All you have to do is play defense, and we'll see if he can. We'll see. It's the question mark that's unanswered.
Yeah, you got another team you want to talk about or no?
Oh, I really wanted to talk about the Lakers today. I really wanted to.
We can talk about them again. That's fine. We've talked about it before. This is a Lakers pod. We talk about the Lakers too much.
Pod.
We're always going to talk about the Lakers too much, but that's fine. We can talk about them a little bit if you want.
I need to talk about the Lakers because I've seen two sides. I've seen the Max Christie Lakers, and I've seen the non-Max Christie Lakers, as we saw last night. I stayed up till 1 a.m. watching this game.
Better than me.
I saw Max Christie did not play. Max Christie was in a hoodie. He was chilling.
Yeah.
He was sipping on some
proved
water
himself.
on the side.
He's good, yeah.
And so Jalen Hood-Schifino, they said, go run the team.
First round pick.
Go run Cole Swider. Go run it. And they lost by, I think it was 25.
That's tough.
And I've never seen so much trash talk in a summer league game in my life.
Yeah.
Because Kenny Lofton Jr. was so inefficient from the field for the Grizzlies, but he was still babying, and he was still trash talking these 6'6" power forwards for the Lakers in their G League team.
Yeah.
And that are not going to ever see the light of day on the NBA court.
Yeah.
They're not going to see it. But Jalen Hood-Schifino, I think they told him to just go out there and to shoot the ball whenever he could, just to build confidence, which did not go well.
Yeah, he's
Did not
been
go
kind of
well.
up and down.
Yeah, but when Max Christie is on that court, magic happens.
Yeah.
Because I think a little bit of Magic Johnson comes into Max Christie when he puts on that Lakers uniform, and he goes in there.
Yeah.
He makes the dishes. Yeah, just like
Yeah, we
that.
saw it.
He
Yeah,
makes
yeah.
he makes the dishes as I smack the mic, and he shoots the jumper, and he throws down the hammer.
Uh-huh.
He throws it down.
Yeah.
And I think that Max Christie, they might as well just release D'Angelo Russell and Gabe Vincent, because Max Christie just needs to take over that point guard spot for the Lakers.
You see that Figueroa putback dunk though? You're a big fan of that.
I was jumping up and down when I saw that thing.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
It was beautiful. I've liked a lot of the Lakers guys, honestly. I think a lot of them have looked pretty nice. Like a lot of the two-way guys. Colin Castleton as a center has really impressed me on both ends of the floor. I've liked him a lot. Demoy Hodge has actually been okay as a guard for them. Swider's been kind of up and down, as has Hood Schifino. But there's a few guys for the Lakers that have been good, and I think their Summer League team was a lot better than people thought. But the last team I want to talk about, I'll switch it over to their opponent. I like the Grizzlies Summer League team. I thought they were cool. They got a lot of interesting build type of guys. Kenneth Lofton Jr. really, unconventional the way he's built. David Roddy too. And Gigi Jackson has been nice for them. Second round pick, could have been in the steal section, but I think that would be a little bold. But was a guy who I think was number one in his class and then reclassified. Fell down into the second round and has been okay. And Jake LaRavia has been good for them too, first round pick last year. So the Grizzlies have a lot of intriguing young guys on top of a good core.
They have the Ferrari point guard.
Oh yeah?
The guy named Ferrari.
Oh, that's his name. I thought you were calling him a Ferrari.
Oh, no, that's his name. Time out, folks, for the people on the...
Yeah.
Since it's okay. It's okay. It's a casual podcast.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Ferrari basketball player. He did a jersey swap with Richard Jefferson last night.
Wow.
Frankie Ferrari.
That's such a sick name.
Frankie Ferrari.
Where did he play college ball? Do you have that right there? The name sounds familiar.
San Francisco Dons.
Oh, yeah, he was probably in the tournament or something. But the name sounds familiar. He must have been good.
Frankie Ferrari is an American professional basketball player for the Baxi Maressa of the Liga ACB. He played college basketball for the San Fran Dons.
Right.
What a guy!
I like the name. That's a top. That's an A-tier name.
Yeah, that's why Richard Jefferson, like, after the game, was begging for a jersey swap. So they did like a jersey swap. So he took Richard Jefferson's polo T-shirt, and he took Frankie Ferrari's jersey. And Frankie Ferrari seems like the most chill dude in the world, because he was like, "Oh yeah, I look more like a commentator than you do, because it's just this dude that looks like he should be working at a bank. Instead, he's playing in an NBA game."
Yeah, cool name. I like their team. I think they've been fun. But we'll take a shift here to the last full segment, which will be a little shorter. We can talk about the in-season tournament stuff, because that's a big change to the league. It's going over November, I think, and then the finals will be either early December or late November in Las Vegas. I believe there's 4 group stage games for each team. Then they take the winners from each group. There's 6 groups, and 2 wild card teams have a quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals. I believe that the group stage games are like Tuesdays and Fridays, which is more convenient. I thought they were going to spread them around and it'd be super confusing, but luckily they're not doing that. They're going to put them on 2 days. It's going to be set days. But we'll see how much people care, because, $500K if you're making $40 million means nothing, pretty much. But if you're a lower end guy, then it's a huge paycheck for you. So we'll see how teams care. It's basically going to be the cup for how much you like your role players. The team that wins is going to be like, we love our role players the most. We got them the bag. But what do you think about the tournament? You think it'll be cool or no?
I just want to say, for any team that wins the tournament, if one of your star players does not want his $500,000, you can please send that to the Herm Cet Show, and we will pay off our student loans with that.
Great.
So if you're interested, just send us the $500,000. We can make it work.
We'll take it off your hands.
We'll gladly take it. Yeah, I know, because what is $500,000 to you guys in the
Yeah,
starting
it's
lineup?
nothing
Come
to
on now.
them, you know. It's something to
It's
us. So,
nothing.
yeah,
So like, if just send it on over. We'll hit you up with our emails. You just reach out to us on YouTube or our
yeah,
socials,
yeah.
and we'll take it off your hands. So that I think that kind of sums up my view on the in-season tournament because I think it's an absolute um what's the appropriate word for this? I wouldn't say waste of time. I'd say just like it's one of those. It's when you're driving down the road. Like we'll bring it in like a parable. You're driving down the road.
Yeah.
You're driving down the highway,
Mm.
and there's a construction zone.
Oh, the worst.
And you slow down. You go. You're 55 or whatever. Then you realize that there's no construction. There's just the cones.
Mm.
You're like, why are we doing this? Why are we slowing down and
Yeah.
wasting our time and going through this? And you get through it, and then you finally get the speed back up to your normal speed. That's kind of how I feel
So
about
it's
the
an
NBA
inconvenience,
in-season
is what you're
tournament.
calling it.
An inconvenience is a great word for it. An inconvenience.
Yeah.
Because why are we hyping this up when all it is just a bunch of traffic cones to make it slow down on the highway
Yeah,
and speed
they
back
just
up?
want people to care during football season is all it really is. But it's gonna get really funny if someone without a ring wins this ring. I hope it's Chris Paul because the memes would never end. Chris Paul gets his first ring, the Commissioner's Cup. It's a huge deal for Chris Paul, but it's not going to matter that much in the grand scheme of things. We'll see how they change it
I
over
want to see
time.
Patrick Beverly win it. Basically, like when he won the
Yeah,
play
he's
in
going to
with
be up on the
Minnesota.
table again. He's going to be pounding the chest. He'll rip the jersey off. You know, he doesn't care.
He's gonna request a parade for the city. He's gonna request a parade.
Oh, and maybe John Morant wins then. It's a parade inside my city, yeah, as Skip Bayless says. So, you have any final thoughts? Any last things you want to talk about as we wrap up Summer League here? No.
Oh man, you put me on the spot. But
I know.
I think endings. If anyone's even watching the video that up to this point, I know we have a
Yeah,
few loyal fans.
46 minutes in.
The Kai Soto fans,
Yeah.
they watched the full video.
Of course.
So you know what? We're gonna give Kai Soto some love again.
Shout
Kai
out.
Soto, we love him.
Mhm.
We love Kai Soto. We love the Philippines.
The dream from the
We-
Philippines.
The dream from the Philippines.
Yeah.
Kai Soto is our favorite player,
Mm.
and
I've
we're-
never seen that. I
I'm-
made that name up. I'm gonna copyright it.
Nah, I think that it's the most genius name I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, we're gonna
because
roll with
we're gonna roll with this. This is like this is incredible. So Matteo Spagnuolo, our two favorite players.
Yeah, foreign guys. Shout out to the foreigners.
Shout out to the foreign guys. We shout out to Italy. Shout out to the Philippines.
Yeah.
And I just want to say thank you for watching the podcast, and thank you for supporting the channel. Play-in tournament winner, $500,000. Send it our way, because that's the biggest part of the video. Because then
Yeah.
we can buy a studio.
That'd be
We'll
sick,
move out
yeah.
to LA. We'll get the videos pumping out
Career
and stuff.
changing.
Yeah, so just let us know. That's my
Yeah.
big takeaway.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up. We'll probably be back next week to talk about the off season or whatever, whatever we think about, because we'll be dead by that point. It'll be the dead of the off season. We'll pick something up. Maybe Lillard or Harden get traded by then, and then we have something to talk about.
NBA.
Yeah.
We're gonna be predicting the 2050 NBA champions? Question mark.
2K simulation to 2100.
Yeah.
We'll figure something out. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. Follow the Instagram, as we always say. Follow the TikTok. Everything that is important.
TikTok's blowing up.
It's probably in the description. So we'll have links there. Thank you guys for watching. That's probably it. So have a good rest of your day. We'll see you guys.
That's
Peace.
probably it, guys.
That's probably it. See ya.